He said, what? Stephon Castle spoke about the San Antonio Spurs officially being out of playoff contention, and he spoke on what he thinks about himself in the Rookie of the Year conversation. And we are going to break down what he said, discuss it, and furthermore here on Spurs Digest with your host Keenan Warner. And if you guys haven't yet, make sure you guys take a spur of the moment to get every Spurs moment by hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss all the great content we have coming for you. But Stephon Castle, honest statement on the Spurs playoff elimination. Spurs rookie shares honest statement following the elimination from playoff contention. Stephon Castle knows that all bets are off regarding the San Antonio Spurs this season. That doesn't mean he won't play hard. He had this to say. We've still got to fight with the 5 guys we have on the court. You love hearing that from a rookie who understands that his season's over. Like, theoretically, obviously, his season's really not over. We know he still has a few games left, but the actual point of playing in the NBA is you want to go win championships. That's the ultimate goal, and he understands that for this season is over. Clearly, it was over when Victor Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox were out, but, in reality, it just ended. And the way that he is approaching the situation, you've got to love that from this young guy. He shows so much veteran poise for someone who is under the age of 21, for someone who is just a rookie in this league, showcasing his abilities day in and day out. You can tell that he is going to be a great pro for years to come and a guy that you can mold a franchise around. But the Spurs hit the road with zero margin for error, and while acting coach Mitch Johnson has labeled it for such few weeks now, the phrase from metaphorical to literal, the Spurs needed to win out to have the Sacramento Kings lose out at the same time to give themselves a shot for the play-in the West. We knew that wasn't going to happen. Any Spurs fan knew that was not going to be in the cards this year. But hey, you play the games for a reason, you go forth for a reason, and that's why you're here. Stephon Castle also had this to say. It's not about anything to put our heads down about or say, what if? We still had a chance, we still putting ourselves in position to win games. And that's what the Spurs were doing, regardless of the talent that they did have on the floor or the lack thereof in some cases. They were still playing 48 minutes of hard-nosed basketball. Whether it was always quality basketball, that remains to be seen. Obviously, it was not always of the greatest, but what the San Antonio Spurs were doing was putting forth a good effort game in and game out. And as the latter bit was true, the Spurs managed to upset the Denver Nuggets on the road a few games prior to falling short in Portland. Without Victor Wembanyama, who's been ruled out on February 20th, we know what happened with Wemby. De'Aaron Fox, we know what happened with Wemby. This was going to happen, and we knew that this was going to happen. But on the season, it's not only just the team success. We have individual success. And the individual success for Stephon Castle is something that we are excited about. The Spurs, Stephon Castle talks about the Rookie of the Year race. He says I pretty much got it locked up. I love this confidence, this just understanding about what's going on, because it's not arrogant. It's understanding what he does on a court on a given day, understanding the landscape of the NBA, and knowing what he does and what he has done this year is better than any other rookie that we have seen this year. Unfortunately, the injury to the 76ers, Jared McCain, because he was really going to make a push with Stephon Castle. That would have been a fun race to see, but he unfortunately got injured. And then from there, Stephon Castle just began to run and hide with that award. The Spurs selected Castle with the 4th pick in the draft, expecting him to operate in complementary role alongside Wemby. While both players developed chemistry, obviously Wemby was ruled out. When speaking also more on that award, Castle said, I feel like at this point, I pretty much got it locked up. I mean, really just continuing to be myself, not really think about it when I'm in the game, just game by game. I feel like I'm more confident to be able to say, I am it. He is it. This guy is going to be a pivotal piece to the San Antonio Spurs championship puzzle for years to come. It's going to be Victor Wembanyama, of course. It's going to be De'Aaron Fox, of course. And that third piece is Stephon Castle. From there, we're going to see what we draft this season. We're going to see if we keep Devin Vassell or if we let him go, what Jeremy Sochan's role is going to be on this roster. How long is Harrison Barnes going to be there? How long is Chris Paul going to be here? Obviously, Chris Paul is not the long-term future, but the short term. What's Keldon Johnson's future? The San Antonio Spurs are in such a great spot this offseason that they have so much flexibility with their cap, with their picks, and with their players. They can go trade for assets. Obviously, we heard no Kevin Durant's names being floated around left and right. Whether you like that or not, it's still the fact that these options are floating out there, and that there are opportunities to get these level of players because of the fact that you start with Victor Wembanyama, you go on with this organization, and then you draft players like Stephon Castle, who is the best rookie in the league right now. Although the San Antonio Spurs are only 9-17 since the All-Star has been rolled out, Castle's late season play has been a silver lining. 26 games since Wemby has been out. He's averaging 17.6 points, 4.7 assists, and nearly shooting 43% from the floor. And that coming into the league was not his strong suit, shooting the basketball at an efficient rate. He can get downhill, and it really was the three-point shooting that has been not great for him. But overall on the season, he has 14.5 points, 3.6 rebounds, close to 4 assists, shooting 42% from the floor and 28% from three. We expected this to be what his shooting splits were. I was not expecting the 14. I was expecting more around the 11, so that's even an uptick from what I thought. But everything that we thought was going to be with Stephon Castle is. Is he a high-level defender? Yes. Is he great in the open court and electric? Yes. Can he get downhill and get by many people, if not most people in the league? He can. Is the jump shot going to develop? It will develop. We've seen strides. He's had stretches this season where he's been kind of streaky hot from three, and then we've seen games where he's been streaky hot, and then obviously we've seen games that he's cold. We know he's not a great three-point shooter. All he needs to do is if he can get to that 35% from the three-point line, that will be in a position where you have to respect him outside, and once that is the case, it's over with. But he just needs to develop, and we know he's got the work ethic to do that. I thought that this was really interesting. Last four guards, 1,000 points, 250 rebounds, 250 assists, 70 steals. That's a great company. That is a great company to be in. That's 3 of the top 30 players in the league, give or take, depending on where you feel Trae Young is. But 3 of the top 30 players in the league in Stephon Castle. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that company any day of the week. And with Stephon Castle, last point here. He's been averaging 17 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal, shooting 44% from the floor, about 30% from three, and 72% from the line since we turned to 2025. 17, 4, and 4. That's going to get the job done. That's going to be very, very great as a third option. We're seeing he's obviously a completely different player, and I'm not even considering them even close to the same player. But we see what Austin Reeves is doing as a third option. And I bring up Austin Reeves because, okay, you've got Luka and you've got LeBron. So now you've got the third best perimeter defender guarding Austin Reeves, and Austin Reeves is having a field day as of late because he's cooking. You're going to have the best defender on Wemby and so much defensive attention there. And then you're going to have De'Aaron Fox. And then you're going to have Devin Vassell here as well with the current construction of our roster. So you're going to have to bounce between Vassell and Castle for your second best perimeter defender and your third best. Castle's going to be in so many situations next year where he can take advantage of those lackluster matchups, and people aren't going to want to come off of Wemby because of the height and the size. So getting downhill into the paint, you're not going to have the same level of rim protection, especially when Wemby's out on the outside because he can knock down the three at a high rate. This team's got a lot of potential moving forward, as we all know, and Stephon Castle is the main hub for it right now that is healthy. Of course, we know it starts with that 7'4", 7'5" alien, and then it works its way down from there, but the Spurs did not miss on this pick at all. And I love the fact that he is going to win Rookie of the Year. He deserves it. Shout out to you. You did great at the Slam Dunk Contest. You were there at the Rising Stars game. You even played in the All-Star game. So shout out to you for a great season, Stephon Castle. But this has been Spurs Digest with your host, Keenan Warner. Let me know in the comments what you feel on Stephon Castle's season. Do you think, obviously, you think he deserves Rookie of the Year, or unless someone thinks that he doesn't, but he should get Rookie of the Year, of course. He's a massive betting favorite. But what do you think you're going to see from Castle next year? Do you think you're going to get an uptick in the three-point line? Do you think you can get more points? Or what do you think? I'd like to know what you guys think there in the comments. Again, this has been Spurs Digest with your host, Keenan Warner. I appreciate all of you guys, and I hope to see all of you guys very soon.